Okay, we just had the first day of the London Major. It was exhausting. I've gotten a little bit of work done here, but I'm not sure about what I want to do about the third drop section of kind of the first drop area of our piece. We're following, again, a roadmap that we learned from Metric where you do an intro, and then you do a second intro with a little bit more ideas in it, and then you do a build, and then your drop has three sections. You have the first drop where you just establish that the drop's happening, kind of get the general tone in people's ears. You have the second drop, which takes an idea from one of your intros and adds it into the drop. And then you have a third area where you do something a little bit different. And one of the things Metric does is he changes up his chord progressions. Sometimes he'll have these first two have the same chord progressions, and the third one, the thing that really stands out differently is that the chords change. I should probably go listen to some of his music again to like pick up on the details, but I'm struggling right now to know how much do I change from drop sections 1 and 2 to drop 3, and right now it feels not great, but I'll play what I've got. One thing we added previously, I'll play this. This is what our drops sound like previously. Pretty good. I was pretty proud of that. But I felt like we were missing something in the mids. We have like that melody at the top, and we have the bass on the bottom. I feel like we just need some. We have space in the middle for some extra rhythmic ideas. So I added this sound. Which is pretty messy, but I think it actually really works really well. It's an eDNA patch. I've mentioned this before that I really like this, the stuff that comes in Albion 1, the default patches. This is one of them. It's literally just called Fuck Right Off, and I was like, that's a cool name, and I clicked it and was like, yep, that sounds like exactly the sort of thing I want in my piece. So put that in there without even really looking at that much, just like the sound of it. But then we tried adding this third drop section here, and I'll just kind of play it in. It's not anywhere close to done. We're missing the main melody part. I'll just play kind of what I've got right now. And then it goes around again. The chord progression is just a simple, if we're here on 1, it's flat 6, 1, flat 7, and then 4. And that just kind of goes around. I thought about having the last time maybe go like flat 6, 1, and then 4, 5, to like go into the break, like maybe this last time, like change it up just a little bit. I might still do that. But to get into the music theory of this melody a little bit, we're not starting on 1, it starts on 6, flat 6. Flat 6 in my mind arguably is the most melancholy chord center. It's a major chord in a minor key that is the key, the scale degree. 6 is the scale degree that is the sad chord in major. So flat 6 being a major chord in the minor key, which is the sad key center, I think there's a lot of power to just all of that. And I think so. I think starting the song or starting this progression on flat 6 and then going to 1 and then to flat 7 and the 4, having 1 be on the second beat, it's not on the third beat, it's not on the first beats, not any of the strong beats. Your like kind of sense of home is very loose, and I think in general it's a much more kind of mournful progression than what we had previously of 1, flat 3, flat 4, flat 6, flat 7, 1. Like it's a very strong progression that's got a lot of confidence in it, and I think that works really, really well for this bass sound. It's really aggressive and in your face for exactly the type of progression we got going on. But over here, this is a little bit more mournful. I think this kind of works for these chords, which are so kind of like angsty. And you know, maybe even with this bass a little bit too, like I like all of that, but it's mainly the growler that is just a little bit too much, almost like it's just, that's pretty intense. So whether to change that or not, I don't know. And I'm gonna go listen to some other music and see kind of what do they do when they change. When Metric changes his chord progressions and his drops, how much does he actually change about the rhythmic information or even the orchestration of his instruments, especially the basses. I thought about actually having this sound double the melody over here. If I mute this real fast, I have it down here, and like I'll leave it muted, but like listen to how much this thickens up the melody here. I thought that was actually really cool, but also I can't decide whether I like it. Like it's kind of like when you like turn up the saturation on a picture that you're editing and then you go back to normal and you know that the normal is actually better, but because you just saw that more saturated picture, you feel like, oh wait, but I like that better. I think that that's kind of what's going on here. I really do like just this sound, and I like how cleanly it's sitting in the frequency range it's sitting in, and this sound really, it adds some width to it and adds some dimensionality to it, but it also makes it take up a lot more of this frequency space. It's going a lot more into the mids and into the lows. So I really do think I'm probably not gonna leave that, and I don't think if I use that as a doubler, kind of a way to thicken up the lead, that I can really use are these guys here. These two instruments, if you put that with this, it's like it starts to get real messy back there, and I think pretty quickly we'll get to something that is too muddy to deal with. But yep, that's all I had time for today. Got another day of RLCS tomorrow. Got 9 matches, so it'll be a super long day. I hope you guys enjoy watching the show. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.